Good evening and welcome to the May 4th meeting of the Common Council of the City of Richmond, Indiana. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Doug Goss.
Here.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson.
You have to unmute yourself, Kelly, or I can do it.
She can.
She can't.
You can't, okay. All right, we'll do it.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson.
She said yes.
Okay. Bill
Good
Engel.
to see you.
Here.
Jeff Kappa.
Kate will fix Kelly.
Jeff Locke.
Here.
Gary Turner.
Here.
Ron Oler.
Here.
Jane Bungalow.
Here.
And Larry Parker.
Here.
All are present.
Thank you. In your packet was the minutes of our last regular meeting of April 20th, 2020.
Mr. President,
Mr. Parker?
if there are no additions or corrections, I move for approval of the April 20th minutes as received.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes of the last regular meeting of April 20th, 2020. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you. Communications from the mayor.
Thank you, Mr.
You may or
President.
may not see him on TV because of where he's located.
Yeah, I'm down here. City of Richmond, in partnership with Center City Development Corporation, and of course with the blessing of council this evening, will be awarded $250,000 by the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs through their COVID-19 response program. I'm going to unpack this just a little bit for our citizens that are watching and for council members here. On April 1st, Okra announced the COVID-19 response program. This is a $10.7 million program aiming to provide relief funding to counties, cities, and towns across Indiana as they deal with the economic impact of COVID-19. Communities were encouraged to provide a letter of interest and display how they would utilize the funds within the next 3 months to aid in recovery. The maximum allowable amount was set to $250,000 per community. The City of Richmond and Center City Development Corporation joined together in a letter of interest that was submitted on April 14th, after which a full application was requested. And this application laid out the details of the Richmond COVID-19 Response Grant Program and included the program documents such as an evaluation process, an eligibility criteria outline, and a method to disperse up to $10,000 per business by June 1st. So we have tentatively been awarded that dollar amount. Of course, that comes before council tonight with other COVID-related relief opportunities, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone on this team that was involved in that. It was a lot of work. Thank everyone at Center City Development Corporation, and thank all the members of council for your partnership in this as well. We want to do everything we can to provide relief funding as we move forward and get things opened back up. That is all I have, Mr. President.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Any other questions for the mayor while we have him captive? No? All right. Ordinances on first reading. Do I have a motion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Parker?
I'd like to move that we read by title only ordinance number 28, 2020, 29, 2020, and 30, 2020.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to suspend the normal rules and read by title only ordinances on first reading 28, 2020, 29, 2020, and 30, 2020. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Ordinance on first reading.
Ordinance number, pardon me? Ordinance number 28, 2020, an appropriation ordinance authorizing the submittal, acceptance, and appropriation of a grant from the Indiana Department of Transportation.
Beth, are you speaking on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. The Coronavirus Act awarded funding to transit agencies throughout the state, a formula that they had based on operations. The City of Richmond has been awarded up to $1,561,464 for transit operations. This funding will be available from July 1st through December 31st of 2021. So it is an 18-month period that this funding will be available. Based on our operations and the expenses that we have during that time period, we will be able to draw these funds, which are an additional to our regular budget that we will have coming before you shortly.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Locke, this ordinance is on first reading, but I believe Finance Committee already discussed it, correct?
Finance Committee has met tonight and recommends approval and requests that the suspension of rules to read this on 3 readings tonight.
Okay. Is that a motion to suspend the rules and move it to second?
So move it. Second.
Have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and advance ordinance 28-2020 to second reading, public comment by title only. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
Or- Ordinance number 28, 2020, an appropriation ordinance authorizing the submittal, acceptance, and appropriation of a grant from the Indiana Department of Transportation.
This meeting is being recorded, and the attendees we have on the side are for other ordinances coming up. Clerk, do we have any comments or emails?
I didn't get anything today.
People wanting to talk about these ordinances?
No one
No.
contacted me.
Did anybody else have any calls or emails about this?
No.
Move for engrossment.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to engross ordinance 28-2020. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance is engrossed.
Mr. President,
Mr. Parker,
move to suspend the rules and read ordinance 28, 2020 for third and final reading, read by title only.
Second.
motion and a second to suspend the rules and advance ordinance 28-2020 to third and final reading by title only. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance on third reading.
Ordinance number 28, 2020, an appropriation ordinance authorizing the submittal, acceptance, and appropriation of a grant from the Indiana Department of Transportation.
Any final comments for council? No? I thank the city for working on this grant and some of the others coming up. This will make a huge difference. As we know, we'll likely have some shortfalls later this year when we see taxes come in or not come in. So this will definitely help. Clerk, call the roll.
Doug Goss,
Aye.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson,
Aye.
Bill Engel,
Aye.
Jeff Kappa,
Aye.
Jeff Locke,
Aye.
Gary Turner,
Aye.
Jane Bungalow, Larry Parker,
Aye.
and Ron Oler.
Aye.
All are in favor.
Ordinance passes. Thank you.
Ordinance number 29, 2020, an appropriation ordinance authorizing the submittal, acceptance, and appropriation of a grant from the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs.
This is the Okra grant the mayor was talking about. Beth, are you speaking to this?
Yes. Just kind of to recap, the mayor said this is an opportunity to assist businesses with a grant of up to $10,000. That grant can be used for operations, it can be used to support remote work, or it can be used to support any of their expenditures as they are making sure that their business is ready to reopen and to move forward.
And this will be managed through the Center City Development Corporation, but there'll be members of council and members of the city administration also on the committee to help go through the applicants, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Cappa.
as last time, I'd like to abstain from vote on this particular grant because I'm on the Center City Board.
Your fellow counselor, Jeff Kappa, wants to abstain from voting on this. We need to vote. Do I have a motion to accept his
Motion.
abstention? Yes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, Locke and Goss. Have a motion and a second to accept his abstention. I believe that's right, John. All in favor, say aye.
Mr. President? Aye.
Yes, Mr. Engel.
I didn't hear why. I couldn't hear him very well.
He serves on the city center board that's going to be managing this grant.
Thank you.
He's a voting member of the board, so things is perceived as a conflict of interest.
Thank you.
And he will not be on the committee that helps choose the grant recipients.
Perfect.
Good deal. So ordinance on first reading, yeah. Okay, any other questions for Beth? No? Do we have a motion to move it?
So moved.
Have a motion to,
You haven't voted yet on me abstaining.
oh, I'm sorry, we need to vote on Kappa abstaining. We didn't do that. All in favor of Jeff Kappa abstaining, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed on Kappa abstaining? No. Kappa may abstain. Thank you. Trying to do two things at once. Okay, now for
Mr. President,
Mr. Goss.
I move that we suspend the rules and advance ordinance 29, 2020 to second reading, read by title only.
Second.
A motion and a second to suspend the rules and advance ordinance 29, 2020 to second reading, final title only. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? No. Ordinance is on second reading, public comment. I don't see anyone logged in. Do we have any emails or communications from
No.
any
No.
constituents regarding this ordinance?
No.
None?
Move for engrossment.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second to engross ordinance 29, 2020. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance is engrossed.
Mr. President,
Mr. Goss?
I move that we suspend the rules and advance ordinance 29, 2020 to third and final reading, read by title only.
Second.
A motion and a second to suspend the rules and advance ordinance 29, 2020 to third and final reading by title only. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Clerk?
Ordinance number 29, 2020, an appropriation ordinance authorizing the submittal, acceptance, and appropriation of a grant from the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs.
Any further comments from council? No. Thank you, Beth, for working on this. I know we've gone back and forth quite a bit. And thank you for the CCDC willing to take this on. And hopefully we'll be able to help out some small businesses in our community who are struggling right now. Clerk, call the roll.
Doug Goss,
Aye.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson,
Aye.
Bill Engel,
Aye.
Jeff Locke,
Aye.
Gary Turner,
Aye.
Jane Bumblew,
Aye.
Larry Parker,
Aye.
and Ron Oler.
Aye.
8 are in favor, motion carried.
Ordinance passed, thank you.
Ordinance number 30, 2020, an appropriation ordinance authorizing the submittal, acceptance, and appropriation of a grant from the Federal Aviation Administration.
Are you speaking to this, Beth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this also is a CARES Act allocation that is a formulaic distribution to municipal airports throughout the state of Indiana. The city of Richmond was awarded $30,000 for operations at the Richmond Municipal Airport. We have submitted the grant application and been approved to receive the $30,000.
Good deal. Beth and I were on a chamber Zoom meeting 2 weeks ago with Senator Young, and he talked about this and all the
Yes.
different airports around the state and how much money was being distributed to help with the shortfall.
Yes.
So it doesn't sound like a lot, but for our little airport, it'll definitely help.
Mhm.
Any questions for Beth? No?
Mr. President,
Mr. Goss?
I move that we suspend the rules and advance ordinance 30, 2020 to second reading, read by title only.
Second.
A motion and second to suspend the rules and advance ordinance 30, 2020 to second reading by title only. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Second reading.
Ordinance number 30, 2020, an appropriation ordinance authorizing the submittal, acceptance, and appropriation of a grant from the Federal Aviation Administration.
No one else is on here. Clerk, did you receive any emails or phone calls
No, I
about this? Did anyone else? Any other comments from constituents?
No.
Move for engrossment.
Second.
A motion and a second to engross ordinance 30, 2020. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? No?
Mr. President,
Mr. Goss?
I move that we suspend the rules and advance ordinance 30, 2020 to third and final reading, read by title only.
Second.
Second. A motion and a second to suspend the rules and advance ordinance 30, 2020 to third and final reading by title only. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Nope, ordinance on third reading.
Ordinance number 30, 2020, an appropriation ordinance authorizing the submittal, acceptance, and appropriation of a grant from the Federal Aviation Administration.
Any further comments from council? Okay. Like the others, I appreciate the city's willingness to work on this to get these funds to help out the airport. Clerk,
Okay.
call the roll.
Doug Goss,
Aye.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson,
Aye.
Bill Engel,
Aye.
Jeff Kappa,
Aye.
Jeff Locke,
Aye.
Gary Turner,
Aye.
Jane Bumblew,
Aye.
Larry Parker,
Aye.
and Ron Oler.
Aye,
All are in favor.
thank you. Ordinance is on second reading.
Ordinance number 21, 2020, a special ordinance authorizing the approval of a statement of benefits for a property owner applying for deductions under Indiana Code 6-1-12.1.
This is a tax abatement request for element 13, Nuco Metals. It was sent to the tax abatement committee to do due diligence, and I believe we've done that. Mr. Goss, do you have a report?
Yes. This tax abatement is for element 13. It is a request for 10 years at 90%, which is our alternative abatement. The total investment is $19.5 million for all three of these ordinances. Ordinance 21, 22, and 23 are all for the same element 13. The investment exceeds the 15 million requirement. It will create 30 full-time jobs. Wages are at least 2.5 times the minimum. They will offer major medical, and all the improvements and equipment and everything will be in place within the next 3 years. It is the Tax Abatements Committee's recommendation that we approve all 3 ordinances.
We have some representatives of element 13. I don't know if I can allow all of them to talk at the same time. I'm going to try here. And even Valerie.
There we go.
Why is Valerie still muted?
Hi, Ron.
So we should have Chris, Mike, Josh, and now Valerie's unmuted too. So whoever wants to speak from element 13, go right ahead.
Leon Kozarok?
Yes. Go ahead, Chris.
Leon, sorry, Ron, I was looking for Leon. Is Leon on there?
He was, but now he's gone.
Yeah, he's at the bottom.
He's at the very
Oh,
bottom.
sorry, there he is. Leon.
You got him muted.
Stand by.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Slow. Now Leon should be unmuted.
There we go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We just want to express how happy we are to be locating our new operation in Richmond. We think it's a terrific community. We've been very pleased with the people that we've met with and interacted with, and we look forward to a long future and growth in this community.
All right, good deal. Valerie, do you want to say something about this?
Yes, I've had the pleasure at the Economic Development Corporation of working with the ownership team and their consultants since the early fall. And they are in the process of acquiring approximately 15.5 acres in our Midwest Industrial Park, just southeast of Blue Buffalo on the corner of Round Barn and Gar Jackson Road. The EDC will be reviewing and hopefully approving that real estate purchase agreement at our next board meeting on May the 11th. And the company is intending to build between a 50 and 60,000 square foot manufacturing plant. They're still finalizing all of the details of the footprint of the building. But with that, as Doug said, we're very appreciative that this project will result in 30 full-time jobs at an average hourly wage of $20.55 an hour. And in addition to the tax abatement, the EDC board will also be considering an edit grant as well.
All right, very good. Chris or Mike, do you want to add to that?
Chris, go ahead, or I can talk. Go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just to echo what Leon said, we're really excited about Richmond, and Valerie's been wonderful to work with. And it's just a great opportunity and a win-win for everyone. Hopefully, Ron, I don't know if you distributed some of the pictures and the video from last week of what we will do there, making aluminum billets for the extrusion industry. But if you guys have questions about that or what we'll be doing, we can certainly answer those. But yes, we're really excited about it.
Okay, this is on second reading, public comment. Did anybody have any communications from citizens about this, constituents about this?
No.
The video is referring to was just a YouTube video. It wasn't their plant because it doesn't exist yet. It was another similar plant. It was good.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Doug's going to forward that on so you know what it might look like, sort of. Do you have any questions for Chris, Mike, or Valerie, or Leon, or we have them on the line? No? Okay, it is on second reading. We have no other public comments. Larry?
Move for engrossment.
Awesome.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to engross ordinance 21, 2020. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance is engrossed.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Goss.
I move that we suspend the rules and advance ordinance 21, 2020 to third and final reading, read by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and advance ordinance 21, 2020 to third and final reading, read by title only. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Third reading?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Cruz Nicholson.
I had someone send me a request. Can you expand a little bit on element 13?
Mike, you want to handle that?
Sure. And that question was from Kelly?
Yes.
Kelly. We will be building an aluminum remelter that will produce aluminum billets, which are essentially logs of aluminum in various diameters, 7, 8 inch. That'll be the final product. We sell those to aluminum extruders, make things like they make it into shapes. So think about the high school bleachers.
Okay.
Those types of things.
Okay.
Does that give you a good enough idea?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In the area they're purchasing is already zoned industrial, correct, Valerie?
Yes, all the appropriate zoning is in place.
Yes.
And I took a trip along with Sarah Mitchell at the EDC, as well as a local banker and a local contractor, and met Mike and Chris down at a similar plant in Bowling Green, Kentucky, to view the operation and make sure that it aesthetically fit into our industrial park. I will say it's a very clean operation. I was very impressed with the facility. It's very high-tech in nature, and so we walked away without any concerns about the proposed development in Richmond.
Very good. Thank you, Valerie. Any further questions or comments from third reading?
Mr. President?
I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Engel.
Do we still get, isn't it the Form SB1 that lists the
Yes.
hourly wage, et cetera, et cetera?
Yes.
I looked in my packet and I couldn't find that
Well, we
anywhere.
didn't attach it, because we didn't have it.
Yeah. It was sent separately, and Doug and I got it. I don't know who else got it, but not everybody else got it, so it didn't make it out of tax rate committee. Do we want to hold this on third so everybody has a chance to look at it?
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary.
I don't think so. That's not my concern. I just want to make sure we see those in the future.
Yes, I don't know why they didn't come from the clerk's office this time.
Well,
It came separate.
yeah,
And
right,
They just went
because
to
I didn't have them.
they
yeah.
just went to the
Mhm.
tax abatement chairperson. They didn't go to everyone this time for some reason.
I'm
Mr. Chair?
assuming the
Yeah.
tax abatement
chair,
did his due diligence.
We will make sure that that happens in the future.
Okay.
Normally, that would have came from infrastructure and development, I believe, and through the clerk's office.
Okay, I'd like to see that, yeah.
Dr. Oler,
Yes.
those aren't distributed from the law office because there is some proprietary information with the equipment list. So those are not distributed to the clerk's office for public information due to the public record. So that's why it was sent separately to the tax abatement committee so that they could then share with their fellow counselors.
Okay.
I thought there was only one sheet not to distribute.
Yes. I
Okay.
see that now because there's some documentation attached that I've never seen before on this one. So yes, proprietary. Doug will take care of that, right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Is there a problem with holding it on third into the next meeting so that we can see that information?
I don't know that. That would be May
18.
18th.
I'm just asking, is there a prep point that we need to reach, or is this something where it can hold for 2
Well, the
weeks?
EDC is going to vote to sell the property on May 11th.
I thought that they touched on the
Okay.
things that were on there.
I would, if we held it, that would hold up, maybe probably hold up the EDC's vote until June.
Okay. Okay.
It's already engrossed.
It's already engrossed.
It's already engrossed, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's already enclosed.
It's already on third reading too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're ready for a vote. Clerk, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Doug Goss.
Aye.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson.
Aye.
Bill Engel.
Aye.
Jeff Kappa. Jeff Locke.
Aye.
Gary Turner.
Aye.
Jane Bumbelow.
Aye.
Larry Parker.
Aye.
And Ron Oler.
Aye.
All are in favor, motion carried.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 22, 2020. A special ordinance authorizing the approval of a statement of benefits for a property owner applying for deductions under Indiana Code 6.1-12.1.
This is the second tax abatement ordinance for element 13. Mr. Goss?
Again, this is a 10-year, 90%. This investment amount is $13.2 million for the manufacturing equipment. Tax abatement committee recommends approval.
Any questions on the manufacturing equipment side? No, this is on second reading. Anybody get any comments on this one? No? Okay.
Move for engrossment.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to engross ordinance 22, 2020. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? None opposed?
Mr. President,
Mr. Goss?
I move that we suspend the rules and advance ordinance 22, 2020 to third and final reading, read by title only.
Second.
The motion is second to suspend the rules and advance ordinance 22, 2020 to third and final reading by title only. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? None. And during the due diligence phase for this manufacturing equipment, we did confirm that it's all new equipment, so it's able to be debated or abatable. Clerk, call the roll.
Ordinance number 22, 2020, a special ordinance authorizing the approval of a statement of benefits for a property owner applying for deductions under Indiana Code 6-1.1-12.1 with alternative abatement deduction schedule.
Any other comments? Clerk, call the roll.
Doug Goss.
Aye.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson.
Aye.
Bill Engel.
Aye.
Jeff Kappa.
Aye.
Jeff Locke.
Aye.
Gary Turner.
Aye.
Jane Bumbelow.
Aye.
Larry Parker.
Aye.
And Ron Oler.
Aye.
All are in favor.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 23, 2020, a special ordinance authorizing the approval of a statement of benefits for a property owner applying for deductions under Indiana Code 6-1.1-12.1 with alternative abatement deduction schedule.
This is the third abatement for element 13. Mr. Goss?
Yes, this one is for IT equipment, therefore it'll only be for 5 years, 90%, with an estimated investment of $100,000. And the tax abatement committee recommends approval.
Okay. This ordinance is on public comment. Did anyone see any questions or comments from constituents? None?
Move for engrossment.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to engross ordinance 23, 2020. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? None?
Mr. President,
Mr. Goss?
I move that we suspend the rules and advance ordinance 23, 2020 to third and final reading, read by title only.
Second.
Motion is second to suspend the rules and advance ordinance 23, 2020 to third and final reading by title only. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance on third reading.
Ordinance number 23, 2020, a special ordinance authorizing the approval of a statement of benefits for a property owner applying for deductions under Indiana Code 6-1.1-12.1 with alternative abatement deduction schedule.
Any further comments by council? Clerk, call the roll.
Doug Goss.
Aye.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson.
Aye.
Bill Engel.
Aye.
Jeff Kappa.
Aye.
Jeff Locke.
Aye.
Gary Turner.
Aye.
Jane Bumbelow.
Aye.
Larry Parker.
Aye.
And Ron Oler.
Aye.
All are in favor.
All three of your ordinance passed. We'll get them filed with the county assessor's office in due time. And you can continue on with your meeting at 11. Thank you, Chris, Mike Rasmussen, Josh, and Leon, and Valerie for being on with us tonight. Look forward to continuing a long relationship with your company here in Richmond.
Thank you all for your support.
Glad to.
Ordinance number 27, 2020, an appropriation ordinance authorizing the submittal, acceptance, and appropriation of a grant from the United States Federal Aviation Administration.
I believe Greg Steens, you should be unmuted now.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, you're there. Good.
Okay, the Federal Aviation Administration has grant funding available for the Taxiway A rehabilitation project through its airport improvement program. The total cost of the project is $807,385, of which $709,385 is for construction and $98,000 is for inspection and testing. This grant will be funded 100% through the CARES Act, which means the city has no obligation for a match, which in this case, if it was the normal match of 5%, it would have been around $40,000.
Deal, but under these extraordinary circumstances, no match will be required. Sounds good. This ordinance on second reading, public comment. Did anyone see reading comments about this? No. Have any questions for Mr. Steens? No?
Move for engrossment.
Second.
A motion and a second to engross ordinance 27, 2020. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance is engrossed.
Mr. President,
Mr. Goss.
I move that we suspend the rules and advance ordinance 27, 2020 to third and final reading, read by title only.
Second.
Motion and a second to suspend the rules and advance ordinance 27, 2020 to third and final reading by title only. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance on third reading. Any final comments from council? No? Clerk, call the roll.
Ordinance number 27, 2020, an appropriation ordinance authorizing the submittal, acceptance, and appropriation of a grant from the United States Federal Aviation Administration.
Okay, now clerk, call the roll.
Okay.
Just read it, please.
Doug Goss.
Aye.
Kelly Cruz Nicholson.
Aye.
Bill Engel.
Aye.
Jeff Kappa.
Aye.
Jeff Locke.
Aye.
Gary Turner.
Aye.
Jane Buffalo.
Aye.
Larry Parker.
Aye.
And Ron Oler.
Aye.
All are in favor.
All right, thank you. Ordinance passes. We have no unfinished business. As far as I know, we'll be back in our normal routine next meeting, back in council chambers. We're kind of close, so we'll decide if everybody wants to sit up front or spread out, because it's kind of close in there, but we'll make it work. Be live on WCTV next time. Thank you guys, WCTV, for your extra work in this. Thank you, Kate and Beth, and everyone for setting up the Zoom. Appreciate that. Appreciate everyone's patience. I think we're doing some good business here, so thanks for coming out tonight. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 We're adjourned. Thank you.